All right, so now we need to design and build the top. So if we look here, at our assembly, you can see our top here has this lip here. So we have to design this piece and this lip here so it sits into the box. So if we look at the drawing of the top, right, we have our orthographic drawing with our isometric top, front, side. And we're going to start out like we usually do, drawing the outline of it and extruding it. The only difference between this and the other one is that we have this, we're not cutting anything out, we're actually adding something in the middle. So we'll go here, we'll start a new sketch. So I'm going to click this surface here, the top of the body of the box. Click N on my keyboard, so I'm looking directly on the top. And then I will click Sketch. So we're going to use a new tool here. It's called the Use and Offset tool. So the first thing we're going to do is the Use tool. It looks like a square with the one side highlighted blue. So what this allows you to do is click the outside perimeter. So we're not going to draw a new square. We're going to click the lines, and they'll be selected when they turn orange. And then I'll click the Use/project/convert icon, and you'll see those turn black. If I hide, now what you can do, you can hide your body. So over here on the left-hand side where my cursor is blinking, there's a little, if you hover over it, you see that little eye icon. If you click that, it will hide the body. So now you can just reference your sketch that you're drawing now. So that's great. If you reference our drawing, we have this rectangle on the inside, right? That is 7/16 from the outside. So we're going to use the offset tool. So here what we're going to do, there's an icon here called offset, or O on your keyboard. If you select this, you should be able to do is click each of these lines, and you'll see as I select, lines will build around this. And we want to change the direction. We want to offset inside. So I'm going to just move the arrow in. If I move my cursor, you see how it has that green check mark next to the left click. So I'll click. That gets accepted, but we want to change this number here. So make sure my cursor is still in the offset command because I have the crosshairs. So hit escape on your keyboard. Now this dimension here, if I double click this, we're going to change this to 7/16 and hit enter. Great, it looks good. The only thing we need to change, we're going to change the radius of that here. So what we're going to do, use the fillet command. This is going to give that a radius. So I'm going to click the fillet command, Shift F on your keyboard, and click each of the corners and click once. Mine is already set to 0.5. If yours is not, change this dimension to 0.5. You're going to go around, right? I'm still in the fillet command. My cursor has the crosshairs. It's still selected blue up at the toolbar. And I'll go around and make all these corners have a radius of 1/2 inch. So there's our sketch, right? We just made, we can dimension this. We don't need to dimension this because you see the lines are black. That means they're fully defined, right? So if I try to, nothing will happen. It's referencing the body that we drew before, but this looks just like the drawing here, right? So now we need to extrude this and make this 3-dimensional. So I'll name the sketch top. It's important to name everything, every sketch, every extrusion. So there is that. And if I go back over to the parts and show the body, you can see we drew that sketch right on top here. I'll hide this again. So the first thing we're going to do is extrude the middle section. So I'll click the extrude button, click the center, and you want to change the direction. We're going to extrude that down and change the depth to 0.25, a quarter inch. So you can type in fractions or you can type in decimals. And that's a new part. So we're going to extrude, change that from extrude 1 to top. .25. Okay, so great, we have that part. That's the inside lip, right? We need to make the rest of that. So we're gonna use the extrude tool again. Before we click that, we're gonna go over down on the left where it shows our sketch, our top sketch. Click if you hover over, you want to click the eye icon so you can see the sketch. And we're going to click a few things. So the first thing we're going to do is click extrude. And we're going to click there should be like a little perimeter on the inside. You're going to select that carefully. And you're going to select the outside as well. And then you're going to select the inside again, which you just did. So it looks like this big block here if you rotate around. But the depth on this should be 0.25. You click that. And you want to make sure a couple key things. You want to make sure here where it says extrude 1, new add, you're adding this. So make sure it should automatically add. If it doesn't, if it's not automatically adding, it might show red. You want to go down here where it says merge scope, click merge scope, and make sure you're selecting over here where it says parts, part 2. And that will merge it with that part it'll basically blends it with the part you already drew. So now this becomes 1. So now what I'll do is I'll type top 1, green check mark, and you can now see I have a new part down here, part 2. So I'll rename this top. So now we should have in our feature tree, we have our body sketch, our body extrusion, our top sketch, and our 2 top extrusions, which made these parts. So if you look at this, right, we have our top, our body, and now we just need to make the bottom. So the bottom is really straightforward. It's the same process, right? I have the drawing that you can reference, but you really don't need to. Right? If you look at the bottom drawing, it's the same exact thing as the top. The only difference, it doesn't have that inner lid or that lip, and it's a 4 and 3/4 square, a 1/2 inch radius with a 1/4 inch thickness. So you're going to rotate around to the bottom. Click on the surface, click sketch, and just like before, I'm going to use the use command. Click that, and I'm going to select the lines I want to reuse. So it's the outer perimeter of the square. I'll name the sketch bottom. And now when I click extrude, I'm going to hide the body and the top. And you're going to see all your sketches. If that gets confusing, you can go over to your feature tree and hide your other sketches. But you just want to select the bottom. And then when you select it, it might not select the entire square itself. So what you'll do is, see how I click this, you might need to click the inside as well. So you create that whole solid piece. And again, the depth with this is 0.25 or a 1/4 inch. And we'll label that extrusion bottom. So you have here your 3 parts, and I'll name this over here where it says parts. You show your body, your top, And now part 3, which we can rename and call the bottom. So if we show all these, we have our completed box. So we have our top, bottom, and then our body. And like I said, over here you can hide these parts. So if you want to just see the top, if you want to see the bottom, if you want to hide the bottom, just see the top, hide the top, just see the body. You'll have, now you should, for a completed project, you need to have all these parts. You'll have all these sketches and extrusions labeled. So you'll have your body sketch, your body extrusion, your top sketch, your 2 top extrusions, your bottom sketch, your bottom extrusion, and then you'll have your 3 parts, body, top, and bottom. And that would complete your Onshape for this scroll saw box project.